The darkness of space was absolute. Stars shimmered faintly, but between them lay the void where the alien armadas moved silently. The Xylar fleet, already shaken by human defenses near Epsilon 7, regrouped, while the Threx armada, far larger and even more confident, approached cautiously. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, her eyes scanning every movement, every flicker of energy. The humans had expected this. Two alien armadas, powerful and merciless, yet they had prepared. And preparation, she knew, was humanity's strongest weapon. Captain, multiple Threx ships detected on long-range sensors. They're heading directly toward Epsilon 7, Lieutenant Kieran reported. Elena's jaw tightened. How many? Over 100. They're keeping formation, moving like predators. Elena nodded. Good. Let them come. They'll see what humans can do. The humans had learned from the Xylar attacks. Small, fast strike ships were stationed in asteroid belts. Drones patrolled the area, and communication interference devices were ready. Each human vessel was equipped with adaptive weapons, experimental shields, and clever tricks designed to confuse a larger, slower enemy. Captain, scouts report that the Xylar fleet is in retreat, Kieran said. They're pulling back, possibly to regroup with the Threx. Elena's eyes narrowed. That's fine. Let them think they can plan without interference. It won't matter. Humanity fights smarter, not just harder. Hours passed in tense silence. Then, without warning, the first Threx scout broke through the asteroid field. It was a massive ship, sleek and deadly, gliding through space with confidence. It fired a single pulse toward the colony's energy shield. The human defenses held. Good. Hold position, Elena commanded. Let them think. It's easy. The Threx fleet advanced. Massive warships moved in perfect formation, lasers and missile batteries gleaming. But humans had something the aliens did not anticipate: unpredictability. From the shadows, small human ships launched. They darted between asteroids, invisible against the dark canvas of space. Drones swarmed the alien vessels, disabling weapons, jamming communications and creating illusions of larger fleets. On the bridge of a Threx command ship, Admiral Vathar scowled. Why are their weapons so efficient? Why are they everywhere at once? A junior officer answered nervously. It's impossible. Their numbers are small. Their ships are tiny. Vathar slammed a clawed hand against the console. Then, they are cunning. Focus all firepower on their central point, destroy the humans before they adapt further. Back at Epsilon 7, humans anticipated this. Captain Reyes had already predicted the move. All units focus on decoy positions. Lead the Threx into the asteroid corridors. Do not fight head-on. Use speed and precision. The first skirmish erupted. Massive Threx lasers cut through space, slicing asteroids in half. But human drones had already disabled the weapons on 3 Threx ships. Small human strike vessels zipped around, delivering rapid pulses to energy conduits. Ships that should have been invincible faltered, shields flickering, engines failing. 2 Threx ships. Down, Kieran shouted, disbelief in his voice. Elena allowed herself a small smile. And that's just the beginning. Keep going. Keep moving. The humans moved like dancers in a deadly ballet. Every ship, every drone, every energy pulse was part of a larger strategy. They did not rely on strength, they relied on intelligence. The Threx could destroy human ships with one beam, but they could not anticipate human cunning, human creativity. In the chaos, a rookie pilot, Lieutenant Mara, Jin, piloted a tiny interceptor toward the Threx command vessel. Her ship was almost invisible in the shadows of a massive asteroid. With steady hands, she fired a pulse that disabled the vessel's shields. Energy weapons overloaded, explosions rippled across the hull, and the massive ship lurched uncontrollably. On the command ship, Admiral Vathar roared in anger. How is this possible? They should be weak, they should be primitive. They are human, the officer said quietly, disbelief coloring his voice. Yes, Vathar growled. And yet, they fight as if they are invincible, As the Threx struggled, the Xylar tried to regroup, hoping to take advantage of the chaos. But humans had predicted this. Using a combination of cloaked strike vessels and automated drones, the humans struck the Xylar in vulnerable points. Ships exploded silently, debris scattering into the void. Captain Reyes monitored every move. Excellent. Both fleets are disorganized. Keep pressure. Force them to make mistakes. Every error is ours to exploit. Hours stretched into the night, but the humans did not relent. Small ships darted, drones attacked, and energy pulses disrupted alien weapons. For the first time in decades, two great alien armadas faced a species they had dismissed, and they were losing. "Captain," Kieran said, tension in his voice. "Threx reinforcements detected. They're splitting their fleet. Some toward the colony, others chasing our strike units." Elena's mind raced. Divide and confuse. Let them fight each other. Humans fight smarter in chaos. Draw them in, make them overextend. Do not engage directly. Keep them moving. Keep them reacting. The humans' plan worked. In the dark, narrow passages between asteroids, Threx and Xylar forces collided. Communication errors caused friendly fire. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and chaos spread through the alien fleets. Humans, small and invisible, struck from multiple directions, exploiting every weakness. By dawn, the first true battle was over. Dozens of alien ships were destroyed, and both fleets retreated to regroup. The humans had suffered minor damage. Some drones destroyed, a few small ships heavily scratched, but the colony remained safe. Captain Reyes allowed herself a moment of relief. "Report status." Kieran smiled, exhaustion clear on his face. "We're holding. They are retreating. Humans fought back, and we won." Elena's eyes glinted. "They underestimated us. That's their mistake, and it will be the first of many." Later, in the quiet of the observation dome, Elena looked at the stars and thought about what had just happened. Humanity had faced beings who were larger, faster, and more powerful, and survived. Not through sheer force, but through intelligence, courage, and determination. She knew this was only the beginning. The Xylar and Threx would not forget this humiliation. They would return, stronger, angrier, and more determined. But humanity had learned something crucial. Aliens did not understand humans. They dismissed them as weak. But humans were relentless. In the days that followed, the colony worked tirelessly to repair damage, improve defenses, and train pilots for the inevitable next attack. Every human knew the truth. They had survived the first contact, but the war had only begun. Elena walked among the workers and cadets, her presence inspiring courage. "Remember this," she said softly. "We are underestimated. That is our strength. They believe we are weak. They believe we cannot fight. They are wrong. We fight smart. We fight together. And we will survive." Humans went to sleep that night under artificial lights, hearts full of pride and determination. Outside, the stars seemed unchanged, indifferent. But the galaxy had already begun to notice something new, a species that refused to bow, refused to surrender, refused to be forgotten. And somewhere far in the darkness of space, two alien armadas were recalculating. Their arrogance had been shattered, and for the first time, they realized humans were not prey. Humans were predators in their own way, small, clever, and unstoppable. Captain Reyes looked at the stars again and whispered, "Let them come. They will learn. They will remember. Humans do not give up. Humans fight back." The galaxy had just begun to witness the rise of a species it had dismissed, and humanity, silent but unyielding, was ready for whatever came next. The void of space had become a battlefield unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The Epsilon 7 sector, once a quiet stretch of stars and asteroids, now hummed with tension, energy, and the silent anticipation of war. Two alien armadas, The Xylar and the Threx hovered in the darkness, each confident in their own power. Yet humanity, underestimated and dismissed, had turned the tables. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, her eyes sharp as she studied the holographic display. Every blip of alien movement was analyzed, every potential weakness catalogued. She did not fear the size or strength of the fleets. Humans fought differently. They adapted, they learned, they exploited mistakes. Captain, Lieutenant Kieran, reported, Xylar and Threx fleets are maneuvering into position. They seem aware of our strategies. They're more cautious now, but still overconfident. Elena nodded. Good. Let them think they understand us. They will learn soon enough that humans are unpredictable. Begin preparations for the two-front engagement. Every unit must know their role. Every ship must move with purpose. Humans had planned for this moment. They had mapped the asteroid belts, studied gravitational anomalies, and devised traps using the terrain of space itself. Small human strike ships moved invisibly through the darkness, cloaked and ready. Drones swarmed like schools of metallic fish, ready to intercept, disable, or distract. Even the colony's defensive satellites were active, creating a layered network of unpredictable attacks. The first engagement began near the asteroid belt of Delta 9. A cluster of Threx ships moved aggressively toward the colony, confident in their overwhelming numbers. The humans had been waiting. Deploy decoy drones, Elena ordered. Lead them into the canyon corridors. Draw them in, make them overextend. The Threx, arrogant and impatient, followed exactly as predicted. The narrow corridors between asteroids became a trap. Human strike ships darted from hidden positions, hitting engines, disabling shields, and vanishing again. Drones swarmed, blocking weapon systems and creating the illusion of multiple fleets. On board the Threx flagship, Admiral Vathar's face twisted with frustration. Why are they everywhere at once? How can so few cause so much damage? They are human, a junior officer admitted, his voice trembling. Vathar growled. Then they fight smarter than anyone anticipated. Concentrate fire, destroy them before they adapt further. But humans had already adapted. Every ambush, every attack was a calculated risk, designed to force the aliens into mistakes. A human pilot, Mara Jin, led a small strike team into the heart of the Threx fleet, using asteroid shadows to approach undetected. In a coordinated maneuver, they disabled the weapons of two massive Threx cruisers. Explosions rippled silently, and confusion spread across the alien formation. Meanwhile, the Xylar fleet attempted to regroup. They wanted to support their allies and punish the humans simultaneously. But Captain Reyes had predicted this too. Cloaked interceptors and fast drones struck the Xylar in vulnerable points. Ships exploded quietly in the dark, leaving trails of debris that misled the enemy sensors. Captain, Kieran said, disbelief in his voice. Both fleets are losing coordination. They are starting to fight each other by mistake. Elena's lips curved into a faint smile. Good. Confusion is our ally. Let them clash. Let them make errors. Humans are patient. Humans are precise. Humans are relentless. The two armadas collided in unexpected ways. The Xylar, attempting to flank the Threx, misinterpreted signals and fired upon them. Threx ships responded in kind. The void of space became a chaotic battlefield, where alien weapons struck each other while human ships moved silently, taking advantage of every opportunity. Elena's strategy was simple but effective. Humans would not face the alien armadas head-on. Instead, they manipulated the environment, asteroids, magnetic fields, and gravitational anomalies, to create traps. They turned the battlefield into an ally. Every narrow canyon became a choke point. Every dense asteroid cluster a shield. The aliens, confident in their strength, could not predict the cleverness of human tactics. In the midst of battle, a human squadron led by Lieutenant Mara Jin executed a daring maneuver. Using decoy signals, they drew a group of Xylar command ships into a trap near a dense asteroid cluster. Hidden human drones detonated nearby, creating a wave of debris that disabled engines and weapons. Mara's team then launched targeted pulses, taking out the shields of the Xylar leaders. Within minutes, massive alien ships were adrift, their crews scrambling to respond. Admiral Vathar's voice was a roar of frustration across the Threx communication network. "This is impossible. How can humans so small do so much damage? They should not exist in this sector. They are relentless." Back on the human side, morale soared. Even the youngest cadets watched as humanity's ingenuity overcame overwhelming odds. Every strike, every countermeasure, every clever maneuver reinforced a simple truth: humans were underestimated at their peril. But Captain Reyes knew the danger was far from over. 2 alien armadas were still active. They were battered, confused, and frustrated, but not defeated. Human ships were fast, intelligent, and unpredictable, but they were few in number. The key was to continue exploiting confusion, to force errors, to strike at the heart of alien coordination. "Prepare the, energy nets," Elena ordered. "Deploy magnetic traps along the asteroid corridors. Draw both fleets into the narrowest points. Make them fight in confusion and fear." The human fleet moved with synchronized precision. Cloaked ships led the aliens into pre-planned corridors. Drones jammed communications and automated strike units disabled key systems. Alien ships collided, misfired, or fell behind. The 2 armadas, once proud and confident, now struggled to maintain formation. As the battle raged, a small human craft infiltrated the Xylar flagship. The pilot, using precise knowledge of the ship's design obtained from previous encounters, disabled the main energy reactor temporarily. Lights flickered across the massive vessel, weapon systems failed, and Xylar leaders panicked. Marajin's squadron, coordinating with the strike team, delivered the finishing blow. The Xylar flagship exploded silently, leaving a trail of debris that drifted in the void. On the Threx side, confusion spread further. Miscommunication caused accidental collisions between their own ships. Human drones exploited every weakness, disabling engines and targeting weapons systems. The aliens had superior technology, but humans had mastered unpredictability. "Captain," Reyes observed the results calmly. "Excellent. Keep pressure. Never let them recover. Remember, humans fight smart. We do not rely on size or strength. We rely on cunning, coordination, and courage." Hours passed, and the first full 2-front battle came to an end. The alien armadas were battered and retreating, though not entirely destroyed. Human losses were minimal compared to what might have been expected. Several drones lost, a few small strike ships heavily damaged, but morale was sky-high. Humanity had shown that even against overwhelming numbers, they could prevail. Elena addressed her fleet over the communication network. "Today we proved something important. We were underestimated. They thought us weak, primitive, insignificant. They were wrong. Remember this lesson. Humans adapt, humans endure, humans fight back. And the galaxy will remember that. This is only the beginning. They will return stronger, but so will we." Back at the colony, engineers repaired ships and upgraded defenses. Scientists analyzed alien technology recovered from destroyed vessels, seeking advantages for future battles. Cadets trained rigorously, preparing for the moment they would be called to defend humanity's frontier. Outside, the stars remained, indifferent, but the humans no longer were. They were awake, alert, and unyielding. The Xylar and Threx fleets, though temporarily retreating, had learned a harsh truth. Humans were clever, adaptable, and relentless. Underestimating them had been a critical error. Captain Reyes looked at the holographic display, showing the positions of the remaining alien forces. "This war is far from over," she said quietly. "But humanity has already shown its strength. We do not fear, we do not falter, and we never surrender." In the darkness of space, the 2 alien armadas began their retreat, carrying with them confusion, fear, and the realization that humans were not to be dismissed. And somewhere in the void, humanity silently prepared, ready for the battles yet to come. The galaxy had seen the first real victory of humans against the impossible odds, and it would never forget that in the dark of space, when all seemed lost, humanity fought back, and the universe began to take notice. The galaxy's silence was deceptive. In the outer rim, space shimmered with the movement of two alien armadas, battered, confused, but still dangerous. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Aurora Sentinel, her eyes scanning every blip on the holographic display. Humanity had survived the first clashes, but the real test was just beginning. "Captain," Lieutenant Kieran reported, "the Xylar and Threx are regrouping. They're hesitant, but their numbers are still overwhelming. They may strike again at any moment." Elena nodded. "Good. Let them hesitate. It will make their mistakes more costly. Prepare the fleet. We have a plan. A trap they won't see coming." Humans had learned quickly. They had observed every alien tactic, studied every maneuver, and anticipated every possible response. And now, the humans would use the void itself as a weapon. In the dense asteroid cluster of Kappa 14, they prepared an ambush. Every asteroid, every gravitational anomaly, every patch of dark space was mapped and studied. Cloaked strike ships waited in hidden positions. Drones hovered silently, and energy nets, massive invisible fields, were set to disrupt alien shields and engines. The humans were small, but they had turned the battlefield into a deadly advantage. "Captain," Kieran said, pointing at the display, "the Xylar are moving in. They've detected our presence and seem to be advancing cautiously. Threx is trailing behind, unaware of the trap ahead." Elena's lips curved into a small smile. "Good. Let them approach. We want them confident. Overconfidence is their weakness." The first Xylar ships entered the asteroid corridors. Massive energy weapons glowed as they fired, but the humans' defenses held. Cloaked strike vessels darted in and out, targeting engines and shields, disappearing before the aliens could respond. Drones swarmed from multiple directions, creating chaos and confusion. On board the Xylar flagship, Admiral Vathar barked orders. "Focus fire. Destroy the humans before they escape. They cannot survive this." "They are adapting faster than expected," a junior officer admitted. Vathar growled. "Then we must force them into mistakes, overwhelm them." But humans had anticipated every move. Using gravitational anomalies within the asteroid cluster, they manipulated the alien fleet's movement. Massive rocks shifted unpredictably. Lasers bounced off metallic surfaces, and energy pulses triggered chain reactions in the Xylar vessels' systems. One by one, Xylar ships were disabled, engines failing, weapons offline. Meanwhile, the Threx, trailing behind, moved into the trap. They believed the humans were cornered, vulnerable. But as they entered the same asteroid cluster, human drones swarmed, striking key points on each ship. Cloaked interceptors attacked from hidden positions, taking out energy conduits and communication arrays. The Threx had strength, but they lacked the adaptability of humanity. "Captain," Kieran said, excitement in his voice, "they're colliding. Xylar and Threx are firing at each other by mistake. Our plan is working perfectly." Elena's eyes gleamed. "Excellent. Keep pressure. Make them fear the dark. Humans use darkness as an ally. They cannot fight what they cannot see." Human strike ships led the alien armadas deeper into the asteroid corridors. Energy nets disrupted shields, and gravitational distortions caused ships to drift into obstacles or misfire. The once proud fleets were now a chaotic mass, fighting both humans and each other. In the midst of the chaos, Lieutenant Mara Jin led a daring maneuver. Using her small, agile ship, she infiltrated the Xylar flagship once more. With precise knowledge of its layout, she sabotaged the main reactor, causing a cascade of energy failures. Explosions rippled across the vessel, and it drifted helplessly, a target for human drones to finish. On the Threx side, confusion spread further. Miscommunication led to accidental collisions between their own ships. Engines overloaded, weapons malfunctioned, and chaos reigned. Humans exploited every weakness, striking quickly and disappearing before the aliens could retaliate. Captain Reyes monitored every movement calmly. "This is how humans win," Not by brute force, but by cunning. Not by size, but by intelligence. Every misstep they make, we use. Every error we turn into advantage. Humans are relentless. Hours passed in the darkness of space. The once overwhelming alien fleets were reduced to scattered ships, damaged and disoriented. The humans, small in number but precise and coordinated, had turned the tide. Finally, the remaining Xylar ships attempted a retreat. They were battered, engines barely functional, shields flickering. The Threx followed, but they too had suffered massive losses. Humanity had not only survived, they had dominated. Elena addressed the fleet. This is a victory, but remember, our work is not done. They will return stronger, but so will we. Today, humans proved that being underestimated is our strength. We are not weak, we are not primitive. We are the species that fights back, no matter the odds. Back at the colony, engineers worked tirelessly to repair and upgrade ships. Scientists studied alien technology salvaged from destroyed vessels, discovering weaknesses and opportunities. Cadets trained rigorously, preparing for the battles yet to come. Every human knew the truth. They had survived, and they had shown the galaxy that humans were clever, adaptable, and unstoppable. Outside the colony, the stars were calm, indifferent, and eternal. But within the asteroid belts, space was alive, with the remnants of battle. Twisted hulls drifted, energy pulses flickered, and silence returned, but it was a different silence, one of human triumph. Captain Reyes walked among her crew, observing the young cadets, engineers, and pilots. "Remember this," she said quietly. "We faced impossible odds and survived. Not because we were the strongest, but because we were smart, united, and relentless. Humanity fights with courage, with ingenuity, and with heart. This is how we win. This is how we rise." The galaxy had taken notice. The Xylar and Threx armadas, once confident and dismissive, had suffered massive losses. They had encountered a species they had underestimated, a species that refused to bow. Humanity had turned the darkness of space into an advantage, using intelligence, creativity, and determination to dominate overwhelming forces. In the quiet of the observation dome, Elena looked at the stars and thought about the battles yet to come. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "The galaxy will never dismiss humans again. We are not weak. We are not primitive. We are unstoppable." And somewhere in the dark reaches of space, the remnants of the Xylar and Threx fleets retreated, carrying with them the memory of a small species that fought back when the galaxy had written them off. They had learned a hard lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Captain Reyes turned to Lieutenant Kieran. "Prepare the fleet for repairs and upgrades. We must be ready. They will return, and when they do, we will be stronger, smarter, and more relentless than ever." Kieran nodded. "Yes, Captain. Humanity has proven itself today. The galaxy will remember." Elena's eyes glimmered with determination. "Let them remember. Let them fear underestimating us. Humans fight in the dark. Humans fight with heart. Humans fight until victory is theirs, and that day is coming. Always." The stars continued to shine cold and indifferent, but humanity had changed the balance of power. Two alien armadas had been turned back, humiliated and confused, by a species they believed insignificant. The tide had turned, and the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, Captain Reyes smiled. "We are humans. We fight, we endure, and we will rise again and again, no matter the darkness." The aftermath of the last battle left the Epsilon 7 sector strewn with wreckage. Twisted hulls of Xylar and Threx ships floated among shattered asteroids, silent monuments to a confrontation that no one had expected. Yet humanity did not pause to admire destruction. Captain Elena Reyes and her fleet were already preparing for the inevitable. The alien armadas, though battered, would return. "Captain," Lieutenant Kieran reported, "the remaining Xylar and Threx ships are retreating, but they are reorganizing near Theta 12. They're likely preparing a combined counterattack. Elena's expression was calm, but her eyes burned with determination. Let them organize. We have the advantage of knowledge, speed, and cunning. Humans are never defeated while they are willing to think, adapt, and fight together. Prepare the fleet. This will be their last chance before we end this battle. Humans moved quickly. Every ship that could fly was repaired and upgraded. Cloaking systems were enhanced, drones reprogrammed for maximum efficiency, and energy nets stretched across the asteroid clusters like invisible webs. Engineers salvaged alien technology from destroyed ships, turning it into tactical advantages. Humanity's creativity had become its deadliest weapon. As night fell across the sector, the alien fleets returned, confident in their ability to overwhelm the humans. They did not yet understand that human strength was not in size or firepower, but in intelligence and strategy and unity. "Captain," Kieran said, "they're approaching the asteroid cluster. They don't know about our preparations. They're walking right into our trap." Elena's eyes gleamed. "Exactly as planned. Let's show them what humans are capable of." The battle began in darkness. Massive alien ships fired their energy weapons blindly, expecting minimal resistance. But humans had prepared. Cloaked strike ships moved through the shadows, disabling engines and shields before vanishing. Drones swarmed like metallic clouds, striking weapon systems and jamming communications. Energy nets disrupted alien coordination, and gravitational anomalies pushed massive vessels into asteroids or each other. On board the Xylar flagship, Admiral Vathar growled with frustration. "This is impossible. How can so few humans cause such chaos?" "They fight differently," a junior officer admitted. Vathar slammed a clawed hand against the console. "Then we must fight harder, destroy them before they adapt further." But humans had already adapted. Every movement of the alien fleets was anticipated, every weakness exploited. Captain Reyes watched calmly as her strike teams lured the Xylar and Threx into narrow asteroid corridors, forcing collisions, misfires, and panic. The two armadas, once proud and confident, now fought both the humans and each other. In the midst of the chaos, Lieutenant Mara Jin executed a daring infiltration. Using the shadows of an asteroid, she piloted her small strike craft directly into the heart of the Threx flagship. With precise knowledge of its layout, she sabotaged the energy reactors. Explosions rippled silently across the vessel, and it drifted helplessly among the debris, a target for human drones to finish. Meanwhile, the Xylar flagship faced a similar fate. A coordinated human strike disabled its main shields, and drones attacked key systems. In minutes, the massive vessel was destroyed, leaving debris drifting silently through space. "Captain," Kieran said, excitement in his voice, "both alien flagships are destroyed. Their fleets are disorganized and retreating. The battle is ours." Elena allowed herself a small smile. "Not yet. We must ensure they cannot regroup. Humanity does not leave threats alive if they can be eliminated. Finish the remaining vessels, keep the pressure, do not let them recover." The human fleet moved with precision. Cloaked strike ships darted through asteroid corridors, taking out remaining Xylar and Threx vessels. Drones swarmed, disabling engines and weapons. Energy nets disrupted shields, causing massive vessels to drift helplessly. Every human ship played a role, every maneuver coordinated. As the battle reached its climax, the alien armadas were shattered. Only small groups of ships managed to escape, retreating into deep space. Humanity had not only survived, they had dominated. They had turned the tide, proving that intelligence, strategy, and courage could overcome overwhelming odds. Captain Reyes addressed her fleet. "Today, we proved something important. The galaxy has dismissed humans for too long. They thought us primitive, weak, insignificant. They were wrong. Humanity is clever, relentless, and united. We fight with courage. We fight with ingenuity, and we never surrender. Remember this day. Remember what humans can achieve." Back at the colony, humans celebrated quietly. Engineers repaired ships, scientists studied recovered technology, and cadets trained rigorously for future encounters. Humanity had survived what many thought impossible, and they had emerged victorious. Outside the colony, the stars remained indifferent, yet within the asteroid belts, the silence of space carried the memory of battle. Twisted hulls of alien vessels floated like fallen giants, reminders that underestimating humans was a grave mistake. Captain Reyes walked among her crew, her presence calm and inspiring. "Remember this," she said softly. "We faced 2 alien armadas and survived. We did not rely on size or firepower. We relied on intelligence, coordination, and courage. This is how humans win. This is how humans rise." In the quiet of the observation dome, she looked at the stars, thinking about the battles yet to come. "The galaxy will never dismiss humans again," she whispered. "We are not weak. We are not primitive. We are unstoppable." Somewhere, in the dark reaches of space, the remnants of the Xylar and Threx fleets retreated, carrying the knowledge of a small species that had fought back when the galaxy had written them off. They had learned a hard truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Elena turned to Lieutenant Kieran. "Prepare the fleet for patrols and reconnaissance. We must be ready. They will return someday. But when they do, we will be stronger, smarter, and more united than ever." Kieran nodded. "Yes, Captain, humanity has proven itself today. The galaxy will remember." Elena's eyes glimmered with determination. "Let them remember. Let them fear underestimating us. Humans fight in darkness. Humans fight with heart. Humans fight until victory is theirs. And that day is coming. Always." The stars continued to shine, cold and indifferent, but humanity had changed the balance of power. 2 alien armadas had been defeated, humiliated, and scattered by a species they had believed insignificant. The tide had turned, and the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. Captain Reyes smiled as she watched the fleet moving silently among the stars. "We are humans. We endure. We fight. And we will rise again and again, no matter the darkness." For the first time in the sector's history, humans were not just survivors, they were victors. And the universe had learned a lesson it would never forget. Underestimate humanity and you will pay the price. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a species that refused to bow, refused to surrender, and refused to be ignored. Humans were no longer the species that other civilizations could dismiss. They were clever, relentless, and unstoppable. And Captain Elena Reyes knew as she looked out into the silent stars that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen humans fight, and it had seen humans win. The Epsilon 7 sector was safe. For now, humanity had endured, humanity had risen, and the universe would never forget the day that 2 alien armadas fell screaming in the dark, because humans had fought back. The galaxy was calm, but that calm had a false edge. In the heart of the Safari Coalition's capital, the Council of Worlds gathered in an immense chamber that shimmered with crystal lights and floating holograms. Thousands of delegates from dozens of species hovered in seats, each representing their homeworld. Their eyes were tense, voices hushed. Something huge was coming, something they could not ignore. At the center of the chamber, Admiral Karen of the Safari fleet addressed the assembly. Her voice carried a weight that silenced even the murmuring delegates. "The reports are clear," she said. "The Drexari Armada is moving toward our outer colonies. Their numbers exceed anything we have ever faced. Entire star systems will fall if we do not act." The room fell silent. The Drexari were legendary in their ferocity. Entire fleets had been destroyed merely by their presence. They were massive, unstoppable machines of war, each vessel bristling with weapons and shields designed to annihilate any defense. One by one, the council members proposed strategies: reinforce the front lines, deploy planetary defenses, concentrate all fleets in one region. But each plan, no matter how logical, carried a fatal flaw. The Drexari were unpredictable, adaptable, and overwhelming. The council began to despair, and then unexpectedly a quiet voice rose from the far side of the chamber. "We don't need all your fleets," it said. Every head turned. A young human delegate stepped forward, his uniform simple compared to the ornate attire of the other species. His name was Alex Mercer. He had only recently arrived at the council as a representative of humanity, a species still new to galactic politics. The aliens had barely noticed him until now. "I don't understand," Admiral Karen said sharply. "Do you mean to suggest we face the Drexari with one ship?" Alex nodded. "Not just any ship. One human vessel is enough. You don't need the fleets, the firepower, or the numbers. Just one." The chamber erupted in shock. Whispers spread like wildfire. One ship, one human ship? How could a single vessel, no matter how advanced, hope to withstand the Drexari armada? "Explain yourself," Karen demanded. Her voice, firm and commanding, carried through the chamber. Alex stepped forward. "Human ships are different. We don't rely solely on weapons or shields. Our strength is in strategy, adaptability, and the ability to think in ways others don't. You will see what I mean when the time comes." The council was unconvinced. The oldest Scifi admiral scoffed. "Humans are clever, yes, but cleverness cannot replace numbers. You ask us to place all our hope on a single fragile vessel. It is foolish." Alex met the admiral's gaze without fear. Numbers alone do not win wars. A single human mind, a single human vessel, can achieve what fleets cannot. A tense silence followed. The council debated late into the galactic cycle. Some younger delegates were intrigued, curious about what humans could do. Others were angry, considering it an insult that a small human ship might replace entire fleets. Finally, the vote was called. The result was narrow, but decisive. Against all expectations, Alex Mercer was given command of a single human vessel, and all other fleets were ordered to act only as support if necessary. Alex accepted the responsibility with quiet determination. He understood the weight of what was expected of him. The fate of entire colonies, billions of lives, rested on his shoulders. Once the council dispersed, Alex returned to the docking station where the human vessel awaited. It was a sleek craft, unlike anything in the Scifi fleet. Its design was simple but elegant. No towering weapon turrets, no massive shields. Just a streamlined hull, with subtle lines that hinted at speed, agility, and something the aliens did not understand yet: versatility. As he walked through the corridors, he was joined by a small crew of humans. Each member had been chosen for intelligence, courage, and resourcefulness. There was Lieutenant Mara, a skilled pilot with nerves of steel, Engineer Jonas, who understood the ship's mysterious systems better than anyone, and Communications Officer Lena, whose ability to decode alien signals would prove vital. Alex gathered his crew in the command room. Holographic star maps floated above the table, showing the Drexari Armada's approach. "This mission will test everything we know," Alex said. "But remember, the Drexari expect us to fight like everyone else. They do not expect humans to think differently. That is our advantage." Mara raised an eyebrow. "We're taking on an entire armada with one ship. That's ambitious." Alex smiled slightly. "Ambition alone won't win this. Strategy will. Observation, adaptability, and the courage to act when others hesitate. These are our true weapons." Jonas studied the ship's systems. "The Council has underestimated this vessel. It's more capable than anyone believes. It can maneuver through asteroid fields, cloak itself in ways Scifi ships can't, and even adapt its energy output to match unexpected threats." Lena nodded. "And our communication systems can intercept enemy transmissions. We can anticipate their moves before they even happen." Alex's confidence was quiet but firm. "We are not just a ship, we are humans, and humans survive in impossible situations by thinking differently. That is why one ship is enough." As the crew prepared for departure, Alex felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He glanced at the holographic map, showing the Drexari Armada advancing like a dark cloud across space. He knew the coming battle would be unlike anything humanity or the Coalition had ever faced. Yet despite the fear and uncertainty, Alex also felt a spark of excitement. This was the moment humans would show the galaxy what they were capable of. Not with overwhelming force, but with courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. The engines of the human vessel roared to life, a deep hum vibrating through the hull. The ship lifted from the docking bay, gliding into space with fluid precision. The Safari fleets watched silently from the observation platforms, a mixture of skepticism and awe on their faces. Alex's ship moved like a shadow among the stars, small but confident. "Set course for the outer colonies," he ordered. "And keep your eyes open. The Draxari will not wait for us to be ready." As they jumped to faster-than-light speed, the crew felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration. For the first time, humans were taking a central role in a galactic crisis, and the galaxy would soon see that even one small human ship could make a difference where armies could fail. Somewhere in the dark stretches of space, the Draxari Armada advanced, unaware that the key to its defeat was not in a fleet, but in a single determined human captain and his crew, ready to turn expectation on its head. And Alex Mercer, calm and focused, watched the stars ahead. He did not doubt that humanity could rise to this challenge. After all, humans had survived countless dangers on their homeworld by thinking differently, by taking risks others would not. In a galaxy ruled by sheer strength and rigid strategy, that difference would soon become their greatest weapon. The galaxy held its breath. One ship, one human mind, one chance. That was all it would take.